On this episode of Roadkill, we got together with Rick Payway and Fred Williams of Four Wheel and Off-Road magazine and joined up in their Cheap Truck Challenge. This is a contest where each guy has to buy a truck for $2,000 and hop it up for another $2,000 and then go head-to-head in a number of competitions that test the vehicle's ability, reliability, and coolness factor. Our truck is a '79 Ford Bronco. We overspent on it at $2,500, but our argument was it was ready to go as is. It even already had a 6-inch lift and some 33-inch mud terrain tires. It's got a 351 V8, beefy C6 trans, the best 205 gear-driven transfer case, a Ford 9-inch in the back, and a Dana 44 in the front. Rick opted for a 1980 Toyota pickup. This thing's almost retro, it's so cool. I think he really cheated on the price though, because he's got a brand new Marlin Crawler low-range transfer case in it. He put lockers at both ends. He's got a lift kit on it. Brand new Mickey Thompson 33-inch tires, so it's gonna perform really well, even though it's bogus. Fred's truck is cool. It's an '87 Suburban, and I really dig it because it's a stripper model with no air conditioning. It also has a 4-speed, which is going to help a lot. He threw an off-road design lift kit on it and some cool super swampers. In the end, we all spent about the same on our trucks, right at $3,500 each. We'll find out how they stack up in the competition. We're here at Fred Williams' house in Atascadero, California. He's the staffer at Four Wheel and Off-Road who's setting this whole thing up. We're only 2.5 hours late. Who's missing?
Rick Payway, late as usual.
Guaranteed. The sun will be down behind those bushes by the time Rick gets here. Where's Fred with the beer?
Cheap Truck Challenge is the competition against the budget. If you're a 17-year-old kid and you worked all summer long and you only made a few $1,000s, what would you buy? How would you fix it up? Each editor got a vehicle, did some upgrades to it, and then we're gonna go out, take them four-wheeling, but they also have to still be reliable and something you could drive to work or school every day.
Nope.
Yeah, no, we're still here at the house. Payway's not here yet as usual.
I got a good feeling about this one.
This is total flashback. It's like everyone I knew in the 80s had one of these.
Right now, the last thing is to put the dry shaft on. I took it off because of the transfer case is brand new. I didn't want to take that chance of burning it out. So I'll put it on. There's only 8 bolts. Done. I'm ready to go wheeling. The worst thing about this challenge is I don't have a clue. Fred said, be here on time, which for me I am, and we're going to go wheeling. I don't know where. I don't know what. He says to bring a gallon of milk. I have no idea what that means either. So I'm up for it. I got my drive shaft, I got my truck, I'm ready.
The thing I'd like to point out right now is that the hot rod team showed up, having driven our truck here, completely ready to go. We stood around for 4 hours waiting for Payway, and he's still working on it after driving here with his luxurious Apollo motorhome. Fail.
The first thing we're going to do is a ride and drive. Everybody gets to drive each other's vehicles. We'll check fuel economy. It's all kind of an on-road test.
Works fine.
Oh, Toyota.
Where's the seatbelt in this piece of shit?
Make sure he loses the fuel economy test.
Oh,
let's drive it all the way there in first.
This thing has a real sucky clutch.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Let's just go off-roading right now.
Right there.
Coming over.
Oh yeah, this is winning the drag race.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you want some? Yeah!
wasting our gas.
Yeah, he is.
That was a gallon right there.
Hello, officer.
This steering wheel is falling off. You see that?
This is our special test facility, top secret ranch in the middle of nowhere. We start with a drag race and an obstacle course, maybe play in the mud a little. So we have a few different things we're gonna try. We also have some guests. These are the Land Rover off-road training instructors. These guys are used to really high-end vehicles, so they'll be perfect for testing and judging our piles of garbage. This is the drag race. Now, unlike most drag races where you start on a flat surface, because our vehicles are a little bit older and maybe need a little help because they're low buck, we're starting on this hill. The Land Rover guys here are gonna show us how it's done. Ready? Go!
I was a little worried about the brakes on these vehicles once I saw the finish line and the distance to the ditch, but really, that's not much of a ditch. Bob Hope could clear that in a jump cart. That looks close enough.
I'm happy.
Nope.
Best 2 out of 3, completely bogus.
Sabotage!
Point system for first, second, and third.
Is
And
it-
DNFs get 0. With the DNF getting 0.
It was a photo.
Yeah, second one I thought I got.
Gaining towards the end.
Yeah.
David and Finnegan, DNF.
Toyota guy's claiming a victory. I'm not buying it.
All right. One more time.
There you go.
One more
Who's the
time.
official? Who's the official?
Suck it!
So you're not fired, what happened?
The key to the Ronco winning, neutral drops.
Oh, no way. That's not a long-term solution. I hate to break it.
Nobody won the race. Just,
Yeah. Our competitiveness is not going to pay off at this point, I can tell.
As long as I win one event, that's all I care about.
The winner of the drag race by a mile was the Bronco. What is the deal?
So Ronco, she's a little tired after drag racing, and she really doesn't want to run right now.
Craig?
Come on, baby.
Let's do the suck on the carburetor.
You rev up the engine, hold a rag over the intake, and what it does is it stops the airflow, and the engine vacuum sucks all the dirt and fuel through all the little venturis and everything else and clears it out. Makes it work. Now it's ready to go.
It's mint.
Much better.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you fail to pop the hood open on a newly purchased automobile before you try to go enter a cheap truck challenge.
So what's next is a crawl race. This showcases the crawl ratio of the vehicles to see how slow they can go if you're creepy crawling across some rocks. So we'll actually start all the vehicles together, first gear, low range, and see which one is the slowest moving down the course.
Yeah.
I can steer it, can I?
I'm not gonna pick it up this way.
Hey, you got help.
No, nobody's driving it. You have to go in between the orange flags.
What?
So in theory, Rick won that deal because he was the last one there and we lost because we were first. But dude, I gotta ask the question, what 17-year-old kid wants his truck to be slower? So by the apparent inverted judging standards, I'm calling that a win. Next. In the crawling competition, clearly the winner was the Toyota.
This is the milk truck challenge, where we have a milk jug taped to the hood of the vehicle. And as you go along, it starts squirting out, and that shows you how well your suspension is working.
This is as if you were a kid hanging out in the woods with your buddies, and all of a sudden you had to get in your vehicle really quick and race out of there. So this will be a timed event to see who can get to the end of the course the fastest. The guy with the most milk in the jug at the end of the race gets extra points.
Stand by. Go.
Once I got to the creek bed and make a left up to the hill, I figured I'm already losing milk, so I just nailed it. And I started going in 4 high. Then I really wanted to launch it over this hill, but with my Toyota, I couldn't do it. So kept it in 4 low, second gear, and just went the rest of the course, sliding, and spurting. It was like a volcano coming out both ends. I get down to the bottom and I wanted to do a real tight 360. So I took it out of 4-wheel drive, but it didn't come out of 4-wheel drive, so I had this super long curve. That cost me a little bit of time. Time wasn't bad, but I lost a lot of milk.
So the flag dropped and I ran and got in the Suburban and my seatbelt jammed. I'm sure I ate up a bunch of time just doing that. Come on! The Suburban just soaked up the bumps down through the riverbed. I really wasn't too worried about the milk situation because there's tons of milk out there. You can always buy more milk. I knew I had wheelbase and power, so I figured I'd just throttle it down and see what happens. I took it up through the hills, and when I came down through the bushes and the trees, I think I smacked one of those cameras on the side. Luckily, I was able to throttle it through the big donut at the end and come in strong. I don't know how I did on time, but I think I did pretty good on not losing too much milk out of the whole jug, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win it.
I had this idea that I could go through my passenger door since I don't have a door, which was gonna save me time versus the other guys having to run around, and I think that really worked. Didn't really get any air. I was trying to modulate the throttle to keep the thing down, soak up the bumps, and stay on the terrain and go fast. I went all the way down the riverbed in 2-wheel drive and jumped up out of the bed in 2-wheel drive, and when I had to go through that little nacho, I went to 4 high. There was the point where you had to make the donut around the 3 flags, and I had kicked it into 2-wheel drive, and I thought I was just gonna whip it around, but I think that the transfer case stayed in 4 because it just pushed the front end really bad. When that happened, I killed it. I thought, oh, I'm completely done now. Oh! I got it fired back up and still made it through the gates way faster than those other guys. I'm just gonna win this thing on time because who cares if you spill milk?
I really don't think I won, but I think I did better than the Bronco. I can't wait to find out.
Freiberger did pretty good in the Bronco, but I really expected it to come off the ground a lot more than he had it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win it.
Oh, I totally owned those guys that time. That was a big victory. In its second victory so far, the Bronco.
So this next one is a V-notch and a hill climb all in the same thing. You're gonna climb up, weave back and forth, get to the top, loop it around and come back down. It's gonna be speed, but it's also gonna be gracefulness. So we'll see what we can do.
Go!
Oh,
Mark, set, go!
If this Suburban gets it, in case you were wondering.
At the hill climb, Bronco wins again.
Everybody wanted to go through the mud hole and they somehow convinced me to go first. And the first time I dumped it in there, whoosh! Water all over the hood, and it just kept on pulling. Came right on out. Eat it, bitches! I'm pretty sure that I won the mud bog because I don't think anybody else is gonna follow me where I just went.
I moved my air cleaner up and around on the snorkel to the back, and I skirted to the edge. I was still all in the mud, but I only got half of it muddy, only half of it dirty, and I made it through. So that was good. I had a great line.
Camera bag, shoes.
I didn't know if I wanted to do the mud, but as soon as I saw Rick take the go around, I knew I couldn't do that because I would have to not make fun of him for it. So I went right through the middle, but not with quite the speed that Fred did.
Freiberger goes through in his big old Bronco. Except he was wearing a dress too, so it doesn't count.
I didn't want to go. In fact, I punked out and didn't get in this to go. No doors, no way to keep me dry. I'm not going.
Check.
Totally.
They were like, do it again, as they do. And when you get through once, you think you're unstoppable. So we went around again, skaboosh, water everywhere. And then I realized submersion is not good for Suburban. And she shut down. We got a bunch of water everywhere. So we towed her over here, pulled all the plugs, cranked her over, shot some water out of the cylinders. Luckily, she cranked back up. We're gonna put a new air cleaner in it and go home.
In the mud pit, gotta go with the Suburban.
We're at the Pismo Dunes, and today we're out playing in the sand. We got to play in the mud and the hills, obstacle course yesterday. Today we're kind of wrapping up Cheap Truck Challenge by coming out here and just whipping around in the sand, maybe see if we can catch a little air off some dunes.
The Toyota loves the dunes. I can even do it in first gear, high range. I don't have to go into low range except some of those real tough places I need to crawl out of. But if you keep the R's up, keep the momentum going, it just floats. Can go through the bowls, can crest some of the dunes. It's really gonna be fun when we finally get things jumping around here.
I came out here in the Suburban and I dropped the thing into low range and I was like, this thing's just gonna get stuck. But I put it in third and just got on it and the thing would just start pulling. The tires weren't digging in. I was barreling through. I took it off one of those dunes, bam! I had this huge mess in the back. The cooler was upside down. There was drinks and water and ice all over the place. So we dug that out. I was kind of surprised how well the big truck was doing.
Today the dunes are full of haters and punks that all got roosted on by the Ronco, which I'm now renaming the Master Blaster because she's that good in the dunes. We carved higher on the dune than anybody else, that nice bowl right there. It's a little gutless, but to be honest, it holds a line better than anything else out here in the dunes.
You get to go first, Bronco boy.
Okay,
Somebody say something nice to my wife and kid and dog after this.
The spine buster. Yeah.
I think I can do better than that. The jump was deceptive. It was more like hitting a big speed bump, going a little faster than you intended, and it just boom like that and hucked the Ronco into the air long enough that I could say oh shit to myself 3 times. I'm sore. Landing was a little stiff. I don't know, I didn't see Payway and Williams hit it that hard, so once again, I think we should have the trophy.
In the sand dunes, the Suburban was cool, but Hot Rod wins again. In the end, do the math, man. We came, we saw, we conquered. I gotta say though, if you were really gonna go rock crawling, Rick's Toyota would be the best truck. And if I had to own one to drive every single day, I'd take the Suburban. But the ultimate all-around vehicle, proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, the Hot Rod Bronco. We'll see you again on the next Roadkill, where we have outrageous fun for no apparent reason.
Hey, baby. Finnegan left his phone in here. I'm gonna call his mom. Hi. Hi, Mom. I miss you. America! Is that copyrighted? Be sure and strap your stuff down when you're at the dunes, and